Good morning. We've just completed the plea for the State versus Golden case. We're going to say a few remarks. I'm going to let Sheriff Owens start off, and then I'll come back to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sheriff Craig Owens, the Sheriff of Cobb County. I had a prepared statement this morning I'd like to read regarding the proceedings this morning. So 3 months ago today, as you all know, our lives were changed forever. First, I just want to acknowledge that it's such an emotional day for the wives, the families of two honorable men, Deputies Ervin and Koleski. It's an emotional day for the Cobb County Sheriff's Office, for the team of deputies who were on the scene, for all those who serve and knew John and Marshall. I want to thank the Cobb County Police Department for their investigative work on this case. As well, I'd like to thank District Attorney Flynn Brody and his team for making sure that justice was served today. The good book says, when justice is done, it is a joy to the righteous, but terror for those evildoers. Today a man was brought to justice for the terror that he brought to our community, who robbed two women of their loving husbands and denied two beautiful daughters of having their father play catch, play softball with them after school. That evildoer has stood before God today and man and acknowledged what he did. Our hearts are still hurting. But tonight, we will sleep a little softer, knowing that this case is behind us. The loss of Deputies Ervin and Koleski will never go away, and I mean never go away. Their memories will live on as a blessing to us all. We will continue to honor them each and every day that we put on this uniform and serve the great people of Cobb County. On behalf of the men and women of the Cobb County Sheriff's Office, I want to again thank the entire Cobb County public safety community, those who attended the funerals, and those who have donated to the Cobb Sheriff's Foundation to help support the two wives and their families. There are too many people to name, but know that we all appreciate the outpouring love and support that you all have continued to give to Cobb County Sheriff's Office and their families. And I ask that you continue to support us and check in on our people, and especially on these two families. Last month was the first Thanksgiving, then soon will be the first Christmas without John and Marshall. And there will be other milestones like birthdays, anniversaries, and father and daughter dances that will be missed. But through the grace of God and the love and support of this community and this great Cobb County community, their families, both blue and blood, will become stronger in this broken place. Again, our thanks go out to D.A. Brody and his entire staff who have ensured that justice was served today. Thank you.
On behalf of our law enforcement community and the families, I want to thank the entire Cobb County community, and those across this state and our nation for their support of our fallen officers and their families. Recognizing our heroes, Deputy Koleski and Deputy Ervin, and all those that serve to protect and keep our community safe. We are thankful for the lives of such great men and the families that support them. 3 months ago today, Jonathan Koleski and Marshall Ervin, two beloved deputies of the Cobb County Sheriff's Office, were murdered in the line of duty. From that night through today, members of my staff, along with the Cobb County Police Department and other assisting agencies, have been working diligently to investigate this tragic murders and prepare for what we anticipated to be a death penalty prosecution. During the course of our preparation, our office was approached by the defendant's counsel asking us to consider a plea to life without parole in lieu of our office filing for the death penalty. We then met with the families, Deputy Koleski and Deputy Ervin, and had an in-depth conversation about the facts and circumstances regarding a plea to life without parole versus the death penalty trial. We assured the families that our office was fully prepared to file a death notice for this case and prosecute accordingly. After multiple conversations with the families and with a full and thorough review of the case, we made the mutual decision to complete the criminal case through a plea. This will allow the families to avoid years of being exposed to additional hearings and an even longer appellate process. The sentence today of 2 consecutive life sentences without parole plus 55 years is the maximum allowed under the law short of the death penalty. And although nothing will ever replace the lives of Marshall and John, this plea today will allow their families to put the case behind them and focus on healing. For the Koleski and Ervin families, thank you. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for the love you have demonstrated for our heroes. For the members of our Cobb County Sheriff's Office and all law enforcement personnel and your families, we support you and we thank you every day for the work you do. May God bless you all and keep you all safe at all times. Thank you. We will take questions if there are any.
Can you talk about the impact this had on you personally and your investigators?
For all of us in this community, we appreciate the work and the service that our law enforcement community does for all our first responders. And for us to lose one is like losing our own family member. And so we wanted to do everything we could to bring justice for these families, to bring justice for this community. For me personally, especially for John, being a former member of the Army, we actually served in the same unit, the 101st. It really brought home the dangers that they face every single day, not knowing whether they're going to come home on those days. And it's so important that we as a community understand that and that we support these families who have to live with this each and every day.
The defendant didn't say anything in court, but during the negotiations for this plea deal, did you get any sense from him or his counsel why he decided to go in this direction?
You want to answer that, Jason? You might be better to.
Based on his second interview with Detective Mills, Lieutenant Knowles, he was very cognizant that this was a death penalty case. He referenced it repeatedly towards the end of his interview. We certainly don't know for sure, but my assumption is he knew where this was headed and what this community was going to do.
Sorry, maybe a better question for you. Has he showed any remorse at all since this happened in any of your interviews?
I believe once he realized that this was going to be a death penalty case, he really started thinking seriously about his actions.
And as far as the possible motive for why he did this, why he decided to do that, that night, did he give any indication to anybody about what drove him to do that?
I really don't want to comment on that because we still have another pending case on Mr. Cook. So we'd rather let's just leave that until we complete our investigation on Mr. Cook.
Are you able to give us an update on his case, Mr. Cook's case?
I would rather not do that today because this is about John and Marshall. We're focused on honoring those heroes today. If there are no further questions, that concludes our press conference. Thank you.